they are going to have times where they don't get a good grade. They get cut from a team. It's, a lot of these things during high school and college, these first time experiences are actually sometimes first time failures and first time things. How do you help parents kind of think about, turning these obstacles into resilience education, as I like to say? So, what are some tips or tactics?
Absolutely. And I usually go internal. I go for intrinsic motivators for resilience. And one something that the parents can do is establish a clear difference between self-esteem and self-worth. I already mentioned self-esteem, which means you feel accomplished, you feel like you did something, but self-esteem is dependent to external situation. Oh, you made your bed, you feel good. You got a good grade, you feel good. But if you get a bad grade, you feel bad and so forth. So self-esteem is kind of influenced or manipulated by external. I want to go for intrinsic when we're working on resilience, and that is self-worth. Self-worth means that your value doesn't change because you get an A or an F. Your value is there because of who you are. And perhaps there's a reason why the F is in place, not because you were dumb, not because you couldn't do it, but perhaps because you didn't do your homework. And if you didn't do your homework, it's impossible for you to know what the teacher is going to be talking about because you cannot read mind, you cannot see the future. So this is action oriented. That has nothing to do with your worth. If you would have read the book, you probably would have been better prepared and done better. So it has nothing to do with you, but your self-esteem is going to go down because you got a zero or an F or whatever it may be. But we don't want that to impact your self-worth. So having clarity about self-worth is going to make you resilient because there are going to be days when you're not going to get an A, but your self-worth is going to stay intact. So you're going to learn from that and say, what happened? Be responsible, meaning respond up properly to this situation. I didn't do my homework because I was playing a video game too late. And so now that opens the door for you to do something about it. And parents can help their students by teaching that clearly. Your self-worth and your self-esteem are different. And your self-worth doesn't go away based on performance. Your self-esteem increases based on performance. And you want to feel good about yourself. So by all
Mhm.
means, go ahead and complete that homework. But if there was a situation or a condition that brought poor performance, that doesn't mean that your value was removed. Life has ups and downs. That's guaranteed. Expectation is the second step for resilience, which means if you know that it's going to be difficult, your brain is going to prepare for it. But if you think it's going to be easy, it's not going to happen. Let me give you an example. We're in the Olympics right now, right? So we're kind of celebrating that. And there is two kinds of races. There is the race, well, there's many kind of races, but let me talk the short one. You run quickly. But then there is the huddle ones, the one that you have to run and jump an obstacle. So if you train like you're gonna go straight without obstacles, and then you're placed in a place with obstacles, you're not gonna make it. But the
That's a great
person
metaphor.
Yes, but the person that is trained to run with obstacles is going to take the short race and eat it like it's nothing because they were trained
Um,
for much more than what was demanding of them. So resilience comes from me knowing that there is going to be obstacles, but that's not going to stop me. There are hundreds of excuses for things that didn't go my way, but excuses only explain the situation, doesn't help you out of the situation.
mhm.
You want to be prepared to get out of any situation that you may encounter.
I love that. That answer so there's a lot to unpack in the way you said that, but it's a simple way that I jump to is you just described growth mindset in such a great way. And with that kind of metaphors, it is as parents, we can help our kids understand it's supposed to be tough. There's times when it's there's going to be obstacles and your self-worth is not about, I love that self-worth versus self-esteem. And your self-worth is not about whether or not you got the gold or silver that day. Your self-worth is about you put yourself out there training, you put yourself out there to get better. You hit that hurdle and fell down, but you got back up. And that's the intrinsic part that is really cool and that you can control. Those external things that a lot of our self-esteem is built on, sometimes we can't always control that. And if we're helping our kids and students understand that Being resilient is understanding it's going to be difficult, being ready for that. And when it is, saying, yep, this is the tough stuff and I'm going to get through it. I'm going to be, I've got hope and resilience to get through it. It's not supposed to be